Subscriptions were supposed to make life simpler, smaller monthly payments, access without commitment. At first, it felt harmless. A music service here, a streaming plan there, a productivity app for a few dollars a month. None of it felt like spending in the traditional sense. Over time, though, those small charges added up, and a quiet financial pattern began to take shape. Many people today spend close to $1,000 a year on subscriptions, and most underestimate that number by a wide margin when asked. Not because they are careless, but because these payments rarely feel like decisions. Once they start, they fade into the background of everyday life.
There's like little things that I find myself subscribing to, like DoorDash. The next thing you know, you're like forgetting about it 5-6 months later.
A CNET survey found the average adult spends $91 a month on subscriptions. The biggest culprit? Video streaming.
Free trials play a major role in this. A service promises 7 days or 30 days at no cost with the intention of canceling later. But life stays busy. The reminder never comes. The trial quietly turns into a monthly charge. Because the cost feels small and the sign-up felt temporary, many people don't even notice when free access becomes a permanent expense. A $10 monthly app feels inconsequential when it renews automatically. Out of sight, out of mind. But inside a bank statement, 10 becomes 30, 30 becomes 60, and before long, money is leaving your account for services you barely use. Some people discover they are paying more than $100 a month on subscriptions they cannot even name without checking their statements. This changes how people experience money. A large purchase forces a moment of pause. You feel the cost immediately. But subscriptions avoid that moment. They arrive quietly, consistently, predictably. A single clothing purchase might sting once, but a recurring charge does not register the same way, even though over a year it can rival major expenses like rent increases or grocery costs. Real-world examples are everywhere. A household might carry multiple streaming platforms, a music service, a digital fitness membership, cloud storage, premium news, meal kits that go unused, and apps downloaded during a busy or stressful period. Some began as free trials. Others felt justified at the time. Each charge seems reasonable on its own. Together, they quietly absorb thousands of dollars a year. The monthly payment model also reframes affordability. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" the question becomes, "Can I afford this per month?" A $900 purchase feels expensive. A $30 monthly payment feels manageable. Over time, this framing lowers resistance and normalizes higher ongoing commitments. This model has expanded beyond entertainment and software.
You have to have a subscription to said printer to use the printer that I already bought with money.
Cars now come with feature subscriptions. Home appliances require service plans. Exercise equipment includes digital memberships. And even everyday tools rely on recurring fees. Ownership is slowly replaced with access, and access only exists as long as payments continue. Another cost comes from unused or forgotten services. Many people keep subscriptions they stopped using months ago because canceling them takes effort. Logging in, navigating menus, remembering which email the account was tied to. Free trials often fall into this category. What was meant to be temporary quietly becomes permanent. That small friction keeps the charge active. Money continues leaving the account long after the value has disappeared. At this point, an entire secondary industry has emerged to deal with the problem. Subscription cancellation services now exist solely to help people identify and cancel recurring payments they forgot about.
Can you list every subscription that you are currently paying for? You can pause if you want to try, but I mean, how'd you do, right? For me, I cannot keep track. Or rather, I couldn't keep track until I found today's sponsor, Rocket Money, which uncovered subscriptions I didn't even remember signing up for.
The fact that these services are growing is revealing. It suggests that managing subscriptions has become so overwhelming that people are willing to pay another app just to regain visibility and control. In a sense, the subscription economy has created its own cleanup industry. Companies design systems that make subscriptions easy to start and hard to cancel. Then other companies profit by helping consumers undo the damage. This cycle does not exist because people are irresponsible. It exists because the volume and complexity of recurring charges now exceed what most people can comfortably track. there is also a psychological effect. When expenses are fragmented into dozens of small automatic payments, it becomes harder to feel in control. Financial decisions no longer feel intentional. They feel constant. Even when income is enough, the steady drip of charges creates a sense of pressure that never fully goes away. The subscription economy does offer real benefits: lower upfront costs, flexibility, access. The problem is not subscriptions themselves. The problem is how easily they accumulate and how rarely they are reevaluated. Stability depends not just on how much money comes in, but on how easily expenses can be reduced when life changes. If someone recognizes themselves in this pattern, the solution is not extreme budgeting or cutting everything at once. The real shift begins with visibility. Seeing all recurring charges in one place often changes how they feel. When subscriptions are grouped together instead of hidden across different apps and statements, the total becomes harder to ignore. What felt small in isolation often feels very different in context. Another important step is separating value from habit. Some subscriptions genuinely support daily life. Others exist because canceling them never felt urgent. Reevaluating recurring payments through the lens of usefulness rather than convenience restores intention. There is also value in rebuilding flexibility. Subscriptions are fixed costs. They reduce room to adapt when income or priorities shift. Reducing even a few recurring payments can create margin. And margin, more than luxury, is what restores a sense of control. This is not about eliminating convenience or avoiding modern tools. It is about recognizing that money rarely disappears in dramatic moments. It leaks out quietly, predictably, and automatically. Stability is not built by one major decision. It is shaped by dozens of small ones that are either revisited or forgotten. The subscription economy thrives on forgetfulness. Stability grows from awareness.